Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Jenny from the Chopping Block. I'm so excited to introduce you to a dear friend of mine, Rafiq KingRaf. And I actually met Raf during Mark Siegel. He is very good friends with Raf. And during this COVID time, we created a group. And our group is called The Grateful Ones. And this group has just been such a blessing, I want to say, in all our lives since COVID started, because we lean on each other, we come to each other for support, we check in with each other daily, and it's just been such a blessing. And I wouldn't think it was fair if I didn't share Raf with the rest of you. Raf just shows us all what it is to stay positive, and he's such a hard worker. Sometimes when we're on the calls, you just see the dedication he has to his work. And my favorite part of Raf is his love for his family. And I can't wait to dive into that more, because just to see the way he talks about his family, and that's another thing in our group, Raf. Like, I just love the male figures that we have, and just like the way you guys love your wives and your family. And it's just so inspiring and such a great model for us. And like, what guys should maybe be like and what we should want to be with. And we'll talk about all that. But I have a question. Why do you call yourself King Raf? Can you tell us a little bit more about
that? Good evening, guys. Thank you very much, Jennifer, for having me. Pleasure and an honor of being friends with you. We haven't met physically, but to the group, and we can stay in touch with us all the time. And thank you, Mark Siegel. Thank you, Mr. Tony Robbins, and all the positive influences in our life. Thank you very much. I call myself King Raf. I guess it came from a mindset of me with myself. It's again, having the best perception of myself and preservation of myself. It's not like I'm better than anybody else, or I'm just trying to be the best Raf can be, and that's been from day one. And as I the best perception of myself and preservation of myself. It's not like I'm better. That's a game plan.
Okay. So you were saying it's how you want to show up. You want to be that king.
Exactly.
For yourself and for everybody else.
That's me. It's me. I want to be a king. I want to be a king to my wife. I want to be a king to my children. I want to be a king to my father. I want to be a king to my employees. I want to be a king to my village. I want to be a king to my brothers, my sisters. I want to be a king to myself. You know what I mean? What a king can be a title, or king can be a mindset. To me, it's a mindset. To me, it's a way of life. If I can't perform and it cannot be who I can be, the best I can be, then I'm hollow. And that's where the challenges come from within a human being. And very hard for people to figure it out. And with time and age and some faults, you could rectify that. And that's where the fullness within the heart comes. And that I've been blessed to have recognized that and catch some of my mistakes and fix them. And it's a journey. It's a continuous journey, and we take it step by step. And it happens. We'll falter, and we'll keep fixing it. And God willing, I get fulfillment out of it. And I pray for my friends and my family and people around me that they get the same.
Beautiful. So I was listening to Mark's interview with you, and I acknowledge that you said you moved here when you were 16 years old.
Yes, ma'am.
So how did that come about? You said you and your sister, right, moved here?
Yeah, my sister followed me. I was born in the great country of India. As God and my karma was written up, I moved to America when I was 16. And a few years later, my sister followed me. I when I did some of my college year, my sister, the educated one in the family, the smarter one of us, she got a master's at Columbia. And she's in the noble profession of teaching. And I got into business, and, long story short, here we are a few years later, 30 years later.
Yeah. And how long have you been in business, Raf?
I would say this company of ours was incorporated in 1990. It's a labor of love, and it's going strong. It's been approximately, I would say, 30 years, 32 years. Yeah.
That's pretty rare. And, you've had so much success in that. What inspired you to start this company?
just work ethic, just showing up. It's a dream. America makes it easy. America makes it easy to be successful. I get sometimes it's hard because of perspective and not seeing the other side of the coin. And and once you have the basic education and the know-how, you just keep going and you keep achieving because it's a beautiful land of the free, and you just keep maximizing the opportunity that's coming to you. Everything is simple, everything is ordinary, and you just keep achieving small bits and pieces. Rome wasn't built in a day, and if it was, it took too much of time to maintain it. So if that's the mindset of and the education that came from your parents and your teachers and history tells you that. If you follow those guidelines, I think success is inevitable.
I'd love to hear more about your parents because I just feel like it sounds like they've been a big impact on your life. Can you tell me
Yes.
how they've impacted you maybe in your relationship? I know how much you love your family, and
Yes.
I want to hear more about them and how maybe they helped you because it might not be as easy for everyone else to start the businesses and stuff, but it seems like you have a really good foundation. So can you tell us more about that?
Yes. In today's world, it's hard. It's so hard to have a good set of parents, right? It's impossible for a child to prophesize that we all could wish, but it doesn't happen. We all, we are. It's a really lucky break. And my parents, the best thing about my parents, and it's a mantra that I've lived by, is that they lived by example. My parents. And I look at my wife's parents, and a lot of my friends' parents, because we were all so close knit, and that is one thing common. They lived by example. They didn't talk the walk; they walked the walk, and they matched it. They worked hard. They followed the rules of life. They followed the rules of the religion they followed, and they taught us, and they made sure that we did the same. So once you know that a parent is true to itself or themselves, and they do the same thing, and you see the sacrifice, it's easy to follow through. Once you get out of your adolescence and you understand that, hey, they're showing up, it's not hard for you to show up. And you follow through. We all go through our own challenges as young people, and we all have to go through that. And you pray to God that you come up on the right side once you go through it. But it's automatic. It's automatic, but it's a process. It's a process. Living life is a process. It's not a 3-hour movie. Bollywood movies are 3 hours. So it's not an hour and a half movie, right? Life is every day, 24 hours at a time. So we have to live that, and that's been a blessing. That's been a blessing to us, and that's why I checked with you once I spoke to you that about your parents, and you were lucky like me to have a set of parents, and that's such a blessing. And I pray to God that every child should have that. And sometimes it's not possible, and I pray for them. It's hard, but it's doable. It's doable, but it's a gift. It's a gift.
Absolutely. Wow. And if you don't mind me asking, how'd you meet your wife?
Wow, beautiful. I met my wife to the old-fashioned way of us Indian people getting married. It was a setup. I was, like I said, I was born in India. My wife was born in India. She's an educated woman. She's a fashion designer by trade.
Cool.
And we have a big community. How it is. There's a nice young gentleman in America. She was in India. She used to travel a lot. International businesswoman herself. She's involved in all our businesses. In fact, I work for her on the books.
Oh, I like that.
And she keeps reminding me that most every day. And as destiny would hold it, one thing led to another, and I was quite open-minded about it, and she was quite open-minded about it. Good pedigree, and 21 years later.
Wow.
I kind of fooled her, I guess. We've been blessed. We've been blessed that two beautiful daughters and a few good years under our belt.
All right. So, do you have any advice for the rest of us?
You got to love from your heart. You got to love for the right reasons. You have to love. You have to understand it's a team. You got to find reasons to do it and not do it. We all have our games, and we all have our challenges, and we all have our secrets, and we all have our ways of doing things. But it's a 70-30 rule. If I tell you my marriage is perfect, I would say no, because it's a 95-5 rule for me, because she's the one who's giving most of the time, and I'm the one who's taking. You know what I mean? It's honest. That's a fact of the matter. Sometimes it's vice versa, but in my marriage, that's the rule. And I'm just lucky enough to have a person like that who keeps giving. And then me being smart enough to recognize that and try to make sure it's a level playing field. So it's a very hard combination, you know what I mean? And then when you have such great people to watch over and learn from, like my parents and her parents, you know what I mean? I always compliment her parents. When I look at her and what a beautiful daughter she is, when I see my sisters, my two sisters, it is a compliment to my parents. You know, when I see my brother-in-laws, when I see my friends being awesome husbands, when you talk about Mark, when I look at Mark, when I look at David, you know, when I look at my friends, I look at their parents, I compliment their parents. Maybe I don't meet them, I don't see them because I just started knowing them in the last 2-3 years. But I'll always show respect to the parent of my friends if I know I have respect for them. You know what I mean? Because that's where it all starts from.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
so beautiful.
There is no secrets here. If we all know what's the fact, resources are there. You know what I mean? How resourceful do we want to be with it? That's the bottom line. You know what I mean? Simple. So, you know what I mean? We just have to be honest with ourselves. As far as you're honest with yourself, and that's when you're going to show up. That's what you mentioned to me about showing up. We got to be keeping showing up. If you're honest with yourself, you're always going to show up. The day when I'm not honest with myself is the day I don't show up. You know what I mean? 365 days. I can count on the days I don't show up is the day I'm not honest with myself. That could be love, life, money, business, religion, friendship, anything. You know? But at the end of the day, I'm human. So tomorrow's another day. You
Absolutely.
know? We recognize it, we fix it, we tweak it. 2 millimeters of adjustment. Thank you, Mr. Tony Robbins, and we move on.
So you've been referencing Tony Robbins, who's been such a great impact on our lives. I want to hear about what got you into Tony and how that's impacted your life.
You know what I mean? Again, being born in India, coming from humble beginnings, you know what I mean? And I raised in America, worked hard, got to where we are. And, you know what I mean? It's a journey. We still have a long way to go. Our aspirations are vast and abound. Mr. Robbins basically helped me get together with my 2 millimeters of adjustment. Earlier in my life, I based my life on a book I read was about Khani, you know, constant and never-ending improvement. And at some part of my life, when I was checking myself and implementation within my own life, I felt I was failing for my being a good human being. You know what I mean? Not showing up, you know, having that facade in front of me, you know what I mean? And I basically had heard of Mr. Robbins. And one day luck by chance, as I believe in karma, he showed up in Dallas. And I walked up to one of his events, and the rest is history, you know. And he's just one element. You know what I mean? I don't base my life on Mr. Tony Robbins. That's not saying that Tony Robbins is not all that for a lot of other people. But he's just one element. I don't live, brother, you know, again, resources and resourcefulness. We could have books and stadiums and millions of difference of education. But I'd rather take small bits and pieces which I can apply to my life from my religion, from my friends, from the government, from my loved ones, from my wife, from my beautiful daughters, from my father.
From the Dallas Cowboys. No.
24/7. America's team, you know.
You like the Dallas Cowboys.
Better believe it. Who else? You got to love the Cowboys. You know what I'm trying to say? There's only one team that matters in America.
Oh, it's America's team. I was a Cowboy. I had a Cowboys locker in my room as a kid. But I like the cheerleaders because I was a cheerleader and they had the best cheerleaders.
They're part of the Cowboys, right?
Yeah.
They're part of the Cowboys, yeah.
Beautiful.
It's football is a game of passion. We talked about it in the past. I mean, it's another game, but it's a game of passion, and that's what I like. I like passion and passionate people, and they can put their heart and soul in it, and it's a game of inches, and the ball is oblong, like life. Life is not round like basketball, right? It's oblong. It bounces in oddwards ways. You can plan things, and it cannot go in a certain way. You know, and I don't like that. That's why you have interceptions and fumbles. But guess what? Once you stop, defense shows up, You stand up, next 3 downs, let's keep going, 60 minutes, you know what I mean? And guess what? Sometimes it doesn't work. You have the next game. You have one whole week to prepare. So that's life. You got to be kinder. The idea again is to be kinder to yourself. If you're too rude and mean to yourself, you're lost. You know what I mean? And we all know most of these things, But if you take a step back and start implementing it on a daily basis, you take yourself and be kinder to yourself and look at yourself and say, hey, dude, I'm pretty good. Mm-hmm. Now let's see, where did I falter? Let's see, how can I be true to myself so I show up? So I can be a better husband. I can be a better father. I can be a better son. I can be a better friend. I can be a better American. Mm-hmm. I can be a better human being. Mm-hmm. And it's automatic. And again,
that's so interesting. That's like one of my biggest intentions.
For doing what?
Is I always show up and follow through.
Fall through or follow through?
Follow through.
Follow through.
Yes.
So you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So it's a good thing. But again, it's a process, right? You were not born that way.
No.
Right? So you basically had self-recognition. You went and checked yourself. You kind of called yourself, say, Jenny, watch yourself, girlfriend. Mm-hmm. I don't like this part of you. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to fix it. Mm-hmm. But you're going to only fix it if you're going to love yourself. Absolutely. You're going to only fix it if you're going to appreciate, Jenny, the good part, and you're going to fix and work on the small parts that needs fixing. And going to be kind and easy and loving so we can come out to be positive. Mm-hmm. We can work on positive views. We don't want to do it for the book. We don't want to be all, I tell my kids, they love sneakers, right? I said, life's going to have wrinkles, She likes like, Dad, don't wear those pair of sneakers. They're going to have wrinkles. I said, that's life.
What do you mean?
I hate wrinkles too, but my kids are like me, they're very particular. Like, life's gonna have wrinkles, you know what I mean? So such is life. We're gonna have wrinkles, we're gonna learn. We're gonna learn from it, Mm-hmm. We're gonna fix it. We're gonna keep fixing it and we're gonna keep getting better. Mm-hmm. And challenges are gonna come. There are gonna be some large wrinkles and there are gonna be some small wrinkles. Mm-hmm. When they come large wrinkles, we're gonna pray to God that let's see if we can get them solved and make them smaller wrinkles so we can get over them.
Love that. So I heard that you mentioned, you've accomplished so much, but you said there's so much more that you want to accomplish. Can you tell me maybe some of those things that you have on the list?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. When you say accomplished a lot, yes, because who you comparing yourself to? You know what I mean? Accomplished in what form? Yes, I'm content at the end of the day. But who are you comparing me to? Are you comparing me to Bill Gates? Are you comparing me to, who are you comparing me to? You know what I'm trying to say? So, it's all a matter of perspective at the end of the day. But we all have to be content with who we are. So it's a 24-hour day. So the first few hours of the day in the morning, again, we all pray. We have a rituals of priming and say, thank God. Then you start your day, you battle through it. And at the end of the day, because of your life learnings and your achievements, and you say, I'm content. But the battle starts the next day again. How am I being a better man? How am I being a better human being? Do I have the ability to fight and give back more of what I can, my ability to make more money? I'll be a better man. I'll be a better man of religion, be a better son. I want to get more equipped to be a better father. I have 2 young daughters. Maybe I'm missing some points of being a better husband. My health. I'm a big guy. I'm severely diabetic. I have challenges. I have severe challenges. So I've got to keep working at that. So I've accomplished quite a few things. I got to pray for my Cowboys to win a few Super Bowls. They haven't won a few. So it's who are you comparing yourself to, right?
Yeah.
But also have to be realistic. You have to look at the realm of the 10 or 15, 20 people in your mindset, right? Mm-hmm. I can't compare myself to Buddha, right? God, Buddha, I can't. I got to be realistic, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to be realistic and you have to be content with who you are, but you have to build to the next level of education all around to be a better person. And you keep building to that. And at the end, you have to keep checking yourself is what have you done to achieve that? Because intentions are only intentions. Hard work pays off.
Definitely.
And that's why I keep checking myself. And sometimes I feel like, at times, I do feel like that I constantly have to check myself, especially the more and more I do of these.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, the last week, this is my third podcast. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
Why
I mean,
do you?
this is
So can you tell me why everyone's being so drawn to you right now to get your message out?
it's you know how it is. The word travels. You know what I mean? And most of our podcast is on a personal platform in masterminds and in master groups and education. What we have done within our groups and our masterminds and in the platinum circles we hang out with and stuff like that. And then a couple of them like these we do with you and with Mark and a couple of other podcast people and the whole live movement. Once Facebook and social media, that platform has grown.
Yeah.
And with COVID, that has grown much more, right? So the world has changed around us, right? So there's more options of people getting on. We need more people to get on and get the message out there.
Leaders, yeah.
So there's more levels of doing this, right? So there's sometimes, like I told you, that on Thursday I talked to 300 people. You know, Mark spoke to 30,000 people on Friday. It wasn't open to the public, you know what I mean, because there was a group of professional sports athletes, you know what I mean?
Amazing.
You spoke to Gary V.
Mm-hmm.
You spoke to Jay, you know what I mean? International people, you know what I mean? They speak to millions of people, right? So the idea is that the message to get out, as far as a positive message, you know what I mean? And then people reach out to you because if they understand that there's a positive message, why not?
Beautiful. Absolutely. So, let's see, what else did I want to ask you about? So what you were saying that you have, I would just wanted to ask you about the things that you have that you still want to complete. So, what were you?
I've had a challenge with languages. I want to learn how to speak Spanish.
Oh.
I do speak broken Spanish. So I want to learn how to speak Spanish like fluently. And I want to. I'm in the fragrance business, right? I'm in the gray market fragrance business. So, and I would like to have a fragrance out for some of my heroes.
Cool.
You know?
That's
yeah,
so awesome.
that's my goal. I would love to have a fragrance for Tony Robbins, for Mrs. Sage Robbins, Les Brown. You know, yeah, that would be something I would love to have. You know, love to have for people I look up to and people who I are part of my positive lifestyle. You know what I mean? So that's something I would look up to. And ultimately, I want to basically keep giving back in as many forms I can, you know. And everything starts, honestly speaking, people might not like it, some of people, but it's financial. We have to have the ability to give back financially. We have to have the ability to give back financially.
Absolutely. Always.
Followed by time and knowledge. Answering your question a few minutes ago. Why do people, are sorting to find people like good positive influence to talk to? Right? It's all about time and knowledge, and that's what it's all about. So there are 3 values you can give back in. Once it's been, yes, ma'am?
What does Les Brown mean to you? Because I hear you mention his name a lot.
Another positive influence. This gentleman was taken as a handicap when he was young. He fought through it, has fought through cancer, and again, shows up every day. Positive influence, impacts a lot of people in the world. Again, positive message, genderless, colorless, one voice. Again, and that's what it's all about. Speaks to different kind of people. Black, brown, and that's what positiveness doesn't come from any one kind. Today we live in one world. We live in a one world economy. We live in one world. That's why we are in what we are right now. COVID, if you didn't believe in that, I hope COVID made you think about that. We live in one world. We have man-made borders and stuff, but we live in one world right now. So we have one world messages, We in a group has 310,000 people, right? The comeback challenge was 310,000 people. Yeah, 310,000 people around the world, So we live in one world right now.
So I wanted to ask you, I remember you mentioning about, starting a business right now, how you don't think it would be like a great idea. And I love the concept of, you were saying, like, if you are going to start a business, you were talking about how you spoke to a friend of yours, and to be able to sustain your business, you should plan on having 6 months where you might not make any income. Can you explain a little bit more about those questions that you asked, and where did you get that knowledge from?
Those are real life knowledges I've got from my own life. You know what I mean? Because the easiest thing this country does that for you is to run economics. We are the largest economy in the world, right? There's a reason for that, because we make things easy. You know what I mean? We make things easy for people to do trade and business, keep things simple. 90% plus businesses go out of business in the first year. And that was before COVID happened.
Yeah.
So that's my mantra from day one, right? As I've learned over the years, as a businessman, I always look at an opportunity and think what can go wrong, then what will go right, right? And with COVID and with all these self-help gurus out there and all these beautiful coaches we are dealing with, it's very easy to motivate people to do business, but they basically don't give you a plan of how to survive in challenging times like such, when it affects the biggest and the best people in the world. You know what I mean? The hardest people who have survived the worst times in the time are going out of business. Pier 1 import furniture store. Do you know those stores for Pier 1 import?
Yeah.
You have a Pier 1?
I love Pier 1.
They're finally going out of business. What? Yeah. You know that how many times they've filed for Chapter 11?
Oh, I didn't know that.
They filed for bankruptcy protection multiple times. Multiple. It became their business model. But guess what? With COVID, they couldn't survive it. Challenging. Challenging. So these are the challenges you have. And I was telling on my last podcast, which you listened to, that I would hate a good business idea to get wasted because we did not plan the semantics around it. You have a good business idea, okay, and that is feasible, it's scalable. But once you fail, you can't come back and do it again. Yes, you can try and you might succeed, but the number gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So I would say that on a normal time frame, with COVID, I would multiply that 2, 3, 4 times.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
I always like to ask, I'm sorry, I want you to complete that thought.
And completing that thought right now, on the flip side of it, a lot of good people in this world, people sound businesses, people who are infrastructure heavy, have pivoted and made a lot of money because they are infrastructure heavy. They have all the important things in place, like, you know, finances, infrastructures, employees, warehousing, and their people have done very well because they did not go out and add it to their business. So yeah, you could say, hey, but Raf, this gentleman, friend of mine, you know, he sells meat. But suddenly, all of a sudden, he's selling tomatoes now. But he didn't go out and buy another warehouse. He already has the freezers. He already has the employees. He's just giving them another hour over time to run tomatoes at the end of the day. You know, while you have to go ahead and do all of that. You know, so there's a flip side to it too. And God willing, if you work hard and when things turn around and you start building your ship and your castle from the ground up, you would do that, God forgiving again, that if it doesn't happen again, you would be in place to make the most of it and pivot.
And I always like to ask, because I'm actually lucky to have a couple of friends who have had the experience to be in business for over, 30 years or more. And I always like to ask, do you believe it's a spiritual game? Business?
A spiritual game is because it's not going to make you go out and go crazy. Like I said, like COVID, if you're not spiritual and if you don't have God in your life and if you don't have family and you don't have a team, you probably go crazy. How can you survive if there's because the electric bill has to be paid, maybe they defer it a couple of months. I'll tell you about my own story. I had a large American Express bill, my business American Express card in March. And I came to a realization that first time in my life, I'm not going to be able to pay my credit card bill, my business credit card bill. And I heard that American Express was doing all this kind of, they're going to work around people, they're going to help you out, boom, boom, boom. Okay, 30 days later, guess what? Who calls me? American Express. Sir, your bill is due. Oh, I thought you guys were going to help me. Yeah, we helped you 30 days. You got to pay your bill, buddy. You know what I'm trying to say? So these are the challenges a businessman goes through. Codes, cities, laws changing, mass, you got to close your business. One of my friends opened this retail store, got a $600 ticket because he didn't know that he was not supposed to open the store. The store was going to open Monday and he opened the store Sunday. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
In the state of Texas. You know what I mean? So business, as a businessman, these are the challenges every day. Not saying that a gentleman or a woman who's working for a company doesn't have the same challenges. But as a businessman, you're handling, you're all of it. You're the janitor, you're the salesperson, you're the bookkeeper, you're the owner, you're all of it. You know what I mean?
My dad taught me that, like even in the restaurant industry, like you have to know how to do all the jobs just in case someone doesn't show up or you have to fire somebody. So I was, I started, I've done everything.
One of my best friends owns a restaurant. Mm-hmm. Every so often on a Friday when Sonita and I'm free, we go have dinner with him. There might be not more than at least 20 times in the night I see him run to the wait staff to give them a napkin every time they take a fork and a knife to a customer, because he does not accept it, right? Because that's an owner. He wants to make sure that every time they take a silverware, they have napkins. Like it's when a child drops a knife or a fork, you know what I mean? So as an owner, that's an automatic, you know what I mean? And again, nobody in this world makes it easier than America to do business. I want everybody in this country to have gratitude for that. Nobody in this country, in the world, makes it easier than America to be in business for yourself. You want freedom, my dear friends? You got freedom. You got freedom. That's freedom, real freedom.
Thank you, Raf. I feel like I'm going to carry that with me, and I appreciate your knowledge.
Yes,
can I ask you a question for Jenny from the chopping block?
Sure.
So, Raf, what's your favorite food and or recipe that you could share with me and the audience?
I've lived in America for 33 years. So as an American, I like anything that's fried. Fried, and Raf likes it, you know.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I ethnically I was born in India again, so I love rice, right? But again, my family is very, very, very open-minded about food. I have restriction of food because I'm Muslim. So I'm halal. I eat halal food. I'm kosher. I eat kosher food.
Oh, wow.
So, but I love steaks. I'm a steak eater. I live in Texas. I live in the great state of Texas.
What's your favorite cut of steak?
Oh, I like the biggest piece of ribeye. It has to have a bone.
Okay.
I want the bone in there. I want a bone. I love ribeyes. I love ribeye. And I might eat 15% of it, but I want the biggest ribeye allowed. I love ribeyes. I love being in a steakhouse with my friends, my family, smoking love cigars, you know what I mean? And I love street food. I love Korean food. Love Chinese again. I'm international. I'm international, girlfriend. I love family. I love friends. I can't eat alone.
Okay.
I want to be with people. Yeah. Yes. But if I have to, I have to.
I'll make do.
Family, some friends, some good wine flowing. I don't drink, but I want my friends to be happy, and I'm happy.
What's your favorite meal at home? Like your comfort food, maybe something your parents made or something that just gives you so much joy.
My wife and my mom both were awesome cooks. My mom, God rest her soul with the Lord. And my beautiful wife is a great cook. Both my sisters are great cooks. Some basic homemade Indian food, again, every home is cooked different, like an Italian home or an American home. My home is a little, because, I'm a diabetic patient, my home is a little concerned about the fat content, and, but my wife's a pretty smart cook. Some homemade Indian food cannot go wrong, soul food, you know what I mean?
Can you give me one thing you like a name of something?
if it was my meal, I would love some Chinese food.
Chinese food. Okay.
Some fried rice, some Korean beef, some galbi, or a Lebanese. Oh my God, I could eat kebabs all day long. You know what I mean? Honestly, Italian. My family loves Italian food. Take us to a nice Italian food. My kids could eat spaghetti. They could eat any spaghetti in the world. The best. You know what I mean? We are all that.
Beautiful.
We are international. Sushi. Take us to the sushi restaurant. We will eat there. Just don't bring me the bill. Because my kids will go all over the sashimi and the nilgiri, and my wife and my friends all over the sake. I'm like, don't bring me the bill, because I'm like $20 shrimp teriyaki roll. That's it. You know what I mean? But my family's all over. You know what I mean? We spoil our family with the good food around the world. You know what I mean? So we're blessed. We're super blessed. Super blessed. But Asian food, we love Asian food. We love Lebanese food. We love Italian food. We don't have a problem with eating. We can. That's why we love New York.
Do you eat conch?
My wife loves conch.
Okay.
That's why we love going to the islands. We love going to the islands, and we love cruising. So we'll get off the cruise. We go to St. Martin a lot. We have some timeshare there, and we love going to the beaches on the Bahamas. My wife loves conch. I don't eat fish.
Okay.
My kids, when our dad's out, they bring all that expensive fish and eat all that fish. But my wife loves conch. I mean, and especially when we're in the islands.
Nice.
What's your favorite food, girl, ma'am?
Oh my gosh. Right now I love vegetables. Like, I know it sounds silly, but I love to go to really nice restaurants and see what they could do with vegetables. How to turn like healthy food and just make it taste good. Like Brussels sprouts, for instance, most people don't know how to cook Brussels sprouts, and it just gives them a bad name.
It's a very complicated item. It's very complicated. Yeah. Brussels sprouts is very complicated. Yeah.
But I like simple comfort food. That's probably my favorite. And I just love, love. I love like tasting love in food. Yeah.
Most of this world, no? Mm-hmm. Most of this world loves food. That's where the comfort comes from, yeah?
And Raf, I want to ask you, because I know you're super supportive to everyone that you care about, and you're always there and supporting us, and you call us superstars. And I want to ask you where that came from, and I also want to ask you, the second part of the question is, if you were a superhero, what would your superpower be?
I believe everybody's a superstar because God's made us a certain way for a certain reason. You know what I mean? We all get off the center from time to time. And that's a challenge. That's a challenge. And that's where God leaves us to ourselves, to find us to get back to the center. That's the challenge where the human beings on their own, when you are on your own, when I'm on my own, right? And that's a test, right? And if you get back to it, God will help you, direct you a little bit. And that's why I call you a superstar. And we all superstars. We all one of one. Preserving you and you. You know what I mean? And that's where your inner happiness comes from. I can't be Jenny in the block. You know what I mean? I can't be that beautiful. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I can't be Sunita, my beautiful wife. I can't be Ram, my father. I can't be Ash, my sister. I can't be my Farzana, my other sister. You know what I mean? I can't be any one of them. You know what I mean? I can be Raf. And I try to be the best Raf I can. And it's been an education. Because of time, you get off the rail, because you start understanding that this becomes a way of life, right? So you keep checking yourself, and you keep making the right changes from time to time. And it doesn't matter as it being permanent, but it's constant. I could falter tomorrow. The next time you meet me, you might feel that, that last time I spoke to Raf in July, and today I see he's a little off. But while again, in 3 months, you might say, Raf seems the same Raf in July. It's continuation of life. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you got to be kind to yourself. You got to be kind to yourself. That's what I've learned.
I love that.
You can't keep beating yourself down. You're zero. That's where a lot of people falter. Mm-hmm. You can't go for perfection. Mm-hmm. You can't go for perfection when you don't love yourself.
Perfect. Boring.
You got to be kind to yourself. And when I say love yourself means don't go like, all that kind of back up. I have a real problem with that one. You know what I mean? So, If you can somehow figure out a way and being honest with yourself, be truth. And if you are truth and honest to yourself, you will see the emptiness get filled up. The cup will get full. You will see the happiness you start finding within yourself, the joy. Every small thing will start getting a little off. Gratitude. When you say you're on gratitude, gratitude also comes with being forgiveful. Gratitude also comes with your heart being full. Gratitude also coming with being selfless.
Did you say forgiveful?
No, forgive. You got to be forgive. You got to be forgiving.
That's beautiful. Yeah, that's.
You can't be saying I'm full of gratitude, but I hate her or him for what he did to me or she did to me. That's not being in gratitude. You're still holding that on. And you cannot be 100% grateful if you're holding that on. I know it's not fair. Life is not fair. But let's be fair to yourself. Because that happened. That happened. Let's not suffer. That happened. It's sad sometimes. It happened. Let's move on. Let's get to the next one. Let's close that chapter. Let's move to the next chapter.
Such a beautiful distinction. Yeah, I love that. I love that. It's been coming up like in a couple of groups that I'm in, and just I love hearing it and being reminded of that because it's so powerful. So I just want to share a couple of comments. We have a ton of people here. We have Leva, our soul sister. Hey, girl. We have Paz Avivi. Hey, Paz. Good to see you here.
Attitude is gratitude, Paz.
You know Paz?
I know of him.
Cool. I love that, Raf. Being the best you could be. Otherwise, you feel hollow. Such a great way to put it. It's true. Living life is a process. It's not a Hollywood movie. Just 3 hours a week. Love your lines. See? Mark! Hey! Just realized my comments have been going on our watch party. Oh, thanks for doing watch parties, guys. Yeah, you inspire us all, brother. So, Raf, I just want to ask you to close out this interview I just want to hear more about like how you've been. I mean, I see you almost every day in the group and everything, but if there's anything that you could share maybe with the audience that's on your heart, that's maybe helped you through this time or just something that you carry with you. I know you shared so much already, but if there's anything else you want to share with us tonight here.
The world is full of heroes. You just have to start appreciating them. Start with the one you love.
What are you feeling right now?
I'm just feeling a lot of love for a lot of my world. That's it. I just want to love in this world. It's so easy. It's so easy to love, you know? You just got to allow yourself to do it. It's so easy to love. You just got to allow yourself to do it. You just got to let it go. And just love people and accept who they are. And like I always say, life is not fair. And it might not be the people that you love, they love you back. It's okay. You just have to go to the next set.
Absolutely.
It's all good. You got to forgive. It's okay. It's not for you to forgive maybe, but it is. You have to forgive to move on. You didn't choose that, but it is the way it is. I hate to see people hate or hurt for no apparent reason or fault of theirs. That's the only thing that bothers me. That's exactly what I'm feeling. Nothing else. You know what I mean? I self-check myself every day. I fix myself. Most every day. You know what I mean? My hurt comes from seeing other people's hurt. It's very hard for some people. Might believe, Raf, I don't need, but this is exactly the truth. When I see people giving themselves a lot, like Mark and Paz, you know what I mean? I see you. I see people giving themselves up. Sean Callaghy, Big Brother Robbins. You know what I mean? A lot of good coaches out there. They do it from the heart.
Yeah.
People, they do it. So, I mean, yeah, some people, it's their profession. It's all good, but they do it from passion. Just give yourself a chance, brothers. Give yourself a chance, my sisters. Just be kind to yourself. Open your heart. Bad things might have happened to you in the past, but God's given you a future. It starts from you.
Mm-hmm.
Start looking within. Start filling your cup. That's it. God is great. Give him a chance. We live in a beautiful world.
Mm-hmm.
Make the most of it.
Wow. Well, Raf, thank you so much. I'm so happy that you were able to share these moments with us. And I just, I love you. I honor you. And I can't wait to grow in our friendship. And I'm just really grateful to have you in my corner and, you know, be able to be on here and inspire us
Yes,
all.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me. And I'm available. Like I said, just keep it flowing. Keep the blood flowing. Keep your mind open. In your head, you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let it get in your head. Nobody, don't let it get in your head, guys. That's all I can say, man. That's all my 2 cents.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you. That's all. That's where it starts, and that's all you need.
All right. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed tonight, and I will see you guys real soon. I love you all, and I'm about to go have some birthday cake with my family, so I'll see you guys
Happy birthday to you, Jennifer. Your birthday tomorrow, huh? You turn 21 a year.
34.
Awesome. Awesome. Beautiful. 34 is a lovely number. It's my favorite number. One of my favorite numbers.
Really?
I love 34. 34 is a great number. Roulette 34, baby. 34, 23, 18. Those are my numbers.
Beautiful.
Love it. Love it. Awesome.
Right.
Awesome. Happy for you, my beautiful lady.
Thank
you very much for having me. God bless you. One word.
Thank you.
You're all
I'll talk to you
superstars.
soon.
Yes,
Ciao,
ma'am.
guys.
Yes, ma'am. Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you, ma'am. Bye.